Good morning friends, welcome back. This is Professor Jitendra Acharya. In today's lecture, we are going to cover a topic Programmable Logic Controller, that is PLC. Now let's start with the definition first. Now before defining it in technical terms, we'll see what each word means. Let's start with the controller first. Now, what is controller? So, controller is nothing but it is an electronic device which controls different variables or parameters which ultimately affect the system performance. Okay. Now, next is logic. What do you mean by logic? Now we know controller controls the operation or process, but there has to be some logic which is to be followed by the controller while controlling any operation. So suppose we take example of an elevator. Now consider you are standing at third floor in your building. You call a lift, that is elevator, which is at ground floor. So the program will consider the first operation as calling a lift at third floor. So it will execute that order. Now consider another case where at the same time when you have pressed the button from third floor, there is another person which is standing at fourth floor. Now you have got into the lift, you have pressed ground floor button because you want to reach the ground floor, but after you press the ground floor button, the person standing at fourth floor, if he presses a button at fourth floor, that means he wants to call the lift at fourth floor and he want to reach certain destination. Now what the system will consider, that you have entered your order first, so it will execute your order first. That means the lift will come to the third floor first, then it will take you to the ground floor, and then it will again go to the fourth floor. Now this is the operation as per the input command which is been fed to the control system. Okay. Now till now we haven't come to the logic part. Now when the logic part will come into the picture, suppose after a person standing at fourth floor calls the lift and at the same time there is another person standing at second floor, he also calls the lift to stop at second floor. Now you are standing at third floor, you have got into the lift and you are heading toward ground floor, correct? But before going to ground floor, lift has to cross the second floor. So here logic will come into the picture and the system will understand that there is a person who called the lift from the second floor also. So by applying a logic, it will stop at the second floor, it will get that person into the lift and it will reach the ground floor first. After reaching that ground floor, then it will execute the order which is been given as an input to the system by the man standing at the fourth floor. So after reaching fourth floor, the lift will again go to the fourth floor and then it will get that person into the elevator. So this is nothing but logic. Now what is logic? So it will reorder the commands based on the sequencing, correct? So it will not only consider the timing for the input command, but it will also give a preference to the sequencing, that means rearranging the orders as per the traveling path of elevator. So any if you consider any control system, so whatever the path it has to follow, whatever the orders it has to follow, it will reorder the commands based on the path to be followed. So this is nothing but your logic. Now next part is programmable, correct? Now what do you mean by programmable? So we know that any control system or to run the operations very smooth in any control system, the controller has to be programmed. Correct. Now this is based on the basic theory that we have seen in the controller part or in mechatronics part. Correct. Now here programmable, that means reprogram can be done on the controller based on the operations to be carried out if there is any flaw in the output which is been observed. Okay. Now the main advantage of this PLC is in mechatronic systems, for running a controller there are relays also, but PLC has replaced those relays by using reprogrammable controllers. So this is how programmable logic controller concept can be understood. Okay. Now next we will go into the definition and basic theory part. So we'll try to define it first. So PLC is nothing but PLC is a digital electronics device that uses a programmable memory to store instructions and to implement functions such as logic, sequencing, timing, counting and arithmetic operations in order to control machines and processes, and has been specifically designed to make programming easy. Okay. Now here the term logic is used, as we have discussed earlier also, because the programming is primarily concerned with the implementing logic and switching operations. Correct. Just like we have considered the example of elevator, the program has switched the sequence of operations by stopping at the second floor before reaching to the ground floor, even though the command is been given later on as compared to the person standing at the fourth floor. So that was the example we have seen. Then the next is input devices like switches, then sensors, and output devices like motors, whether it is a servo motor or whether it is a stepper motor, so, or control valves. So those are the output devices are being controlled, are connected to the PLC, and then the controller monitors the input and output according to the program stored in the PLC by the operator, and thus he controls the machines and processes. Then the next part, that is PLC. If we consider the design, the PLCs were designed as a replacement to the relays that we have considered earlier also. Now why these are used as a replacement for the relay? Because the timer logic control systems and hardware relays, they don't have the concept of applying a logic while execution. Relays do operate in first in first out basis. That means whatever the first command is been received by the relay, it will execute it first and then it will switch on to the next part. Okay. Then PLCs have the great advantage that it is possible to modify a control system without having to rewire the connections to the input and output devices. The only requirement is that operator has to give input as different set of instructions. That means whatever the program that has been fed into the system, you have to just replace that program, you have to just modify the orders, modify the sequence of orders, and you will get different results for particular program. So that is the basic advantage of PLC over the using of relays or hardware relays or timer logic control. Okay. Next is PLCs, if we consider in terms of executing operations, are much faster than relay based system. And if we compare it with the recent development in the electronics part, PLCs are very similar to the computers but have certain features that are specific to their use as controllers. So these features are nothing but they are rugged. and designed to withstand vibrations, then temperature changes, so that is temperatures, humidity and noise. Now what is mean by rugged? Rugged is nothing but stubborn, or you can say it as rough. So you can handle it with some roughness also. So it is rugged and designed to withstand the vibrations. That means any mechanical vibration, if the control system has to suffer, then PLC will not get affected in terms of output results. Then the interfacing for input and output devices is inside the controller only. So you do not have to change the wires for each and every input and output devices for running the different set of operations. You have to just give the different set of commands, and you have to reprogram the system. So that is the another feature which give the advantage over the relay based system. And third one is they can be easily reprogrammed. So that are the advantages of PLC over hardware relay based system. Now next part is architecture of PLC. Now when we consider architecture of any system, you have to deal with the two parts. First one is general layout of any system, and then the internal structure, how the internal structure of the system works. So here we will consider first general layout of the PLC system. So it is input device, then output device, and main is CPU or PLC. So this is PLC, which consists of central processing unit, that is CPU, and memory. So memory is used for running a program, storing a data, running different set of operation. Of course, for running any CPU or for running any PLC, you need a power supply, so that is battery. And CPU, you can consider this CPU as a programming device or nothing but control computer. So main components of any PLC system are, first one is input, then CPU, or you can call it as a PLC, and then the output device. And for running this CPU you need battery. Okay, so this is a general layout of any PLC system. Then we'll consider the internal architecture of this PLC system. So we'll start one by one. Now this figure shows the basic internal structure of PLC. So again it will consist of same, that is CPU, central processing unit, and memory, and third one is input and output devices or interfaces. Okay, now what is CPU? Now CPU, as we know, the central processing unit, it controls and processes all the operations within the PLC. It is supplied with the clock. Now here for any CPU it has to be running at certain frequency, so the clock is been attached with the CPU. Now generally when this PLC was invented, the clock was designed to run at an operating speed of 1 to 8 megahertz, but nowadays with the advanced techniques and recent developments in the electronics, these CPUs are now running at approximately 2 to 3 gigahertz clock speed. Then this frequency determines the operating speed of the PLC and provides the timing and synchronization for all elements in the system. Then this bus system or data bus, control bus, and address bus. So these bus systems carries the information and data to and from the CPU, memory, and input output units. Then there are several memory elements. The memory elements are ROM and RAM, where ROM is nothing but your permanent storage, which is used for running a program and storing a data whereas the RAM, that is random access memory, RAM is used for a user program, that is input you have to consider from the user or the system, and then you have to temporarily store that data through the buffer. So these are nothing but your memory devices for any PLC system. Then if we consider the output devices, so output devices are nothing but your actuators. The example can be considered as a solenoid valves. Then if we consider a motor, then there could be servo motor and stepper motors. If we consider the output device as a light devices, that means you will get the signal through some lights. Then the lamps, you can consider it as a output device. Then alarms, if we consider, then it is a sound device. So there are different types of output devices attached with the PLC. Whereas for inputs, the examples could be sensors, temperature sensors, humidity sensors, pressure sensors, etc., or any transducer attached with the control system will act as a transducer. So this is how the internal architecture of the PLC can be explained. Now if we consider in terms of your final exam, you may face the problems like explain the architecture of PLC using block diagram. So where you can either draw this internal structure of the PLC, or you can draw the general layout of PLC that we have seen in the previous slide, and you can explain this complete theory part in short. Okay, so thank you. We will meet in the next lecture. If you like this video, then do like and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to comment.